Welcome back to my library. Oops. How are you? How's it going? Today we're going to be talking about the books that I want to read in the month of December, the end of 2023. Can you believe that, Tiffany? Can you literally believe that it's been almost 12 months? Isn't that that's crazy? That's crazy, Tiffany. This year went by so quickly that it's actually scary. And I know that everybody always says that. They're like, oh my God, things flew, but it literally did though. What happened? I'm such an old person too, because like old people always just talk about like how things go by so quickly, and that's all I ever talk about. At the beginning of these videos, I'm like, oh my God, can you believe it's July? Yes, bitch, I can believe it, because it's July. It's the end of the year. We're gonna have a bunch of like superlative videos coming out. I'm gonna do the worst of video, which I'm so excited for. My best of video. I think I'm going to do just one best of video and have it mainly be horror. Last year I did my best of 2023, and then I also did my best of horror 2023. But this year I didn't read as many books, so I think I'm just gonna do horror. I don't think I have that many books that are just not horror. These are the books that I kind of want to finish before the end of the year. First things first, I'm the realist. Second things first, we have my Patreon pick for December, which is Leech. Hold on to your butts, okay? Because this month, December, we're gonna have none other than Gavin on the Patreon. Gavin, oh my God, Gav, little Gav. I'm so excited. My bro. I was gonna say my boob. First of all, Gavin is literally like an icon in the booktube sphere. So I'm so excited. First of all, the fact also that he said yes, crazy. We have Gavin joining us when we read this in December. If you want to join the Patreon, it's super easy. Basically, it's like a little subscription type thing. You sign up for a certain tier, you get benefits and rewards from being part of that tier, including things like weekly reading sprints, exclusive videos, early access to videos, all kinds of fun stuff. If you want to join, go ahead and check out the link in my description. It's always there. Please, we would love to have you. And it's not a cult. Why do people keep saying that? It's not a cult. We're not doing anything nefarious. It's just friends doing stuff that seems culty, you know, but it's not a cult. We just have rituals. That's it. It's like, is it weird to have rituals? In case you don't know, Leech is about this like chateau, this like institute, right? In the middle of nowhere. Basically at this institute, they make sure that nothing suspicious happens. You know, there are things that could lead to the Earth's destruction through like biological means, like parasites and stuff like that. But this like chateau, this like institute has like all these doctors and stuff, and they're like, not on our watch, boys, not on our watch. Everything's like chill, everything's fine. Everyone's like la di da di da, everything's great. Then the Baron's doctor, the Baron's doctor dies. R.I.P. And so when this new doctor for the Baron shows up, he then is sort of like tasked with saving everything, because apparently there's this like body that just like went missing. I think it's like the doctor's body. It like went missing, and everyone was like, that's weird and suspicious. That's weird. It turns out that there's like a parasite, and it's like really bad. So this doctor has to like solve the mystery, like where's the body, where's the parasite, and get rid of everything. This apparently is like a sci-fi horror, which we love. I'm very excited to read this. I've had so many people flooding me with this book and being like, it's so good, you need to read it. But then also a few people in my videos recently in the comments when I talk about this are like, wasn't for me. Wasn't great, didn't live, left, love. And so I'm a bit excited to see where I stand on it, because like also the synopsis on the inside of the book, very weird, very like wordy, and like kind of confusing, to be honest. But maybe I'm also just like dumb, so who knows. That's for the Patreon with Gavin. I did this video last year where I reread my favorite horror books to see if I still like them just as much, if I still have the same opinions. And I figured I kind of want to do it again. So I chose 3 horror books that I think I might do like a little reading vlog for. Let's talk about a few of them, okay? Also, let me know down below if you'd be interested in seeing that video. If you're not interested, I wouldn't make it, you know what I mean? But I kind of want to do it because I think it's a fun concept. Anyway, first of all, I have Slewfoot by Brom. When I read this, everyone and their mom and their dog and their like ancestors were raving about it. Were like literally jerking off to it. It was crazy. I was kind of ambivalent. I was like, I don't know, it looks fine. It looks okay, I guess, whatever. And then I actually read it and I was like, that was literally a 10 out of 10 experience. Like, that was amazing. I didn't know it could get that good. I kind of want to reread it to see if it's just as good. Now, in case you don't know, in case you're like, what is Slewfoot, Jordaline? Let me tell you, little Tiffany. This is about this girl named Abigail. Abatha. Her name is Abatha. Abatha is married to this guy. And he's like, fine. It's like, whatever. But Abatha is also like a woman in 1666. And so things aren't great for her, just in terms of like life and like being able to just do anything without having the provision or supervision of a man. So things aren't great. So Abatha is married to this dude. They have like a little homestead. It's like whatever. Then her husband dies because they find him and they're like, oh, he was attacked by an animal and eaten. And Abatha's like, that's suspicious and weird. There's like no way that would happen. And then she meets this like thing that she thinks is Satan. It's this guy. She meets him and she's like, you're Satan. And he's like, I don't know, maybe I could be, I don't know. And so Abatha and this like Satan dude, they sort of like become like friends kind of. The book is basically them helping each other better their situations. I don't want to say anything too much because I don't want to give anything away, but it's so good. If you love women and if you love just women, just this book. I haven't talked about this book nearly enough on this channel. Like if I could, I think I would want to talk about this book 24/7. And I've loved it for, I think it's been almost like 7 years since I read it. So it's been a while since I first read it, but I remember just loving it so much. And that is The Library at Mount Char by Scott Hawkins. Bro, if you have not read this, what was that? If you have not read this, you need to. You need to. It's been years since I read it, but there are parts of this book that have just like lived right here. In this little crook, in this little cranny, right there. Rent free. No mortgage. Do you know what I mean? In this, we are following Caroline. Caroline is like an everyday average kind of girl. Like she likes steak, she likes to smoke cigarettes, she likes glitter, whatever. She's just a normal person. She used to be, really, until her parents were like killed. Like her parents died. She was sort of taken in by this guy and he was like, I'm your dada now. But this dude isn't like normal because he's like adopted a bunch of kids. It's kind of giving like Umbrella Academy, but even more fucked up if that's possible. Caroline and her siblings, her new adopted siblings, are only taught certain things. They're basically made to study all of these different subjects and they're all given their own subjects. So Caroline has language, her brother has war, another one has something else like necromancy or something. And so that's their entire childhood, just being homeschooled and this like weird freaky shit. And then at the beginning of the novel, we know that Caroline's father, her adopted father, dead or like missing, really. He's just gone. So Caroline and her siblings are like, well, we need to go back to the library. And that's the thing too, like they're unsure as to whether their father is like a human even. Some of them think that he might be a god. So whoever gets to the library first gets all of the knowledge, gets the godhood. Listen, my synopsis doesn't even give credit, doesn't even come close to the complexity and beauty that is this book. Also, some of the most like deranged, heartbreaking, like graphic, grotesque, repulsive, disgusting things I've ever read in a book before. Where in this book, the whole idea for like the reading vlog is basically an excuse for me to reread this because it's so fucking good. And like, honestly, I read this before I was ever like a horror girly. Oh, stunning. Anyway, the last book that I want to reread is Off Season by Jack Ketchum. I don't really have a reason for wanting to reread this. I just think it'd be fun to reread it and to vlog it. But in case you don't know, this is about a group of people. They go to this cabin in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. Everybody's got like their girlfriend there or their boyfriend there and they're all like drinking and catching up or whatever. They all go to bed. Middle of the night, one window breaks. Suddenly, one of the people, this girl, is dragged out of the window. And her boyfriend is like, the fuck is going on today here in this moment? And so she's dragged out. Everybody also, can I say, is like watching from the window. They're just, because they see a group of people dragging her, tying her up a tree and like hanging her by her fucking feet. And everyone's watching, like horrified, like from the window. What the fuck is going on? Who are these people? What is going on? And then they watch their friend be slit open, tummy to chin, you know? And then they also, again, watch from the window. They watch her being eaten, heated over a fucking fire like a fucking Hot Pocket. And so they're watching this from the window. And all they know is like, we're next. We are next. This book is crazy, Tiffany. If you've only just been thinking about reading it, I'm gonna say to you right now, you should read this. One of the most disgusting things, again, that I've ever read. Let me know what you think of the vlog idea. If you'd be interested in seeing something like that, I'd love to know your opinion. I always love your opinions and your thoughts and your beautiful face also. Tiffany, I cannot get this book out of my head. I see it on my shelves and I'm like, God damn it. I just want to read it only because I think it'd be funny to read it. And that is Kagan the Damned by Jonathan Mulberry. Just the idea I have in my head of this book is why I want to read it. Like, I don't want to read it for what it actually is. I want to read it because in my head, it's about this like fastidious queen. This is about Kagan. Kagan is like this like super high ranking dude. He's like part of this kingdom. Like the king loves him. The people love him. His like guard mates, guys love him. Everyone's like, yay, Kagan, you're the best. You're so good at your job and being a knight or whatever. Something happens. I'm not sure what. But basically Kagan like gets like medieval style canceled. So everyone is like, ew, Kagan, you're the worst. We hate you, Kagan. God, ew. Everyone hates him. And so the king is like, get out of here, Kagan. We hate you. You're the worst. So Kagan is like, the fuck, dude? Literally, we've been like besties. All of us, we've been besties. And you're kicking me out? So Kagan goes. Because it says, haunted and broken, Kagan is abandoned by his gods and damned forever. So basically, Kagan becomes like wanderer, just wandering the lands, just killing bad things or whatever. And so I think actually the reason why they kicked him out was because there was like this usurper called the Witch King. Kagan is like super bitter, super mad about the whole thing. He's like, how could they? Like, we were just chill and then we weren't. Like, it's rude. Kagan is like, I'm gonna go back and just show him what's up or whatever. So Kagan gets all of his little bags and just goes back. Right? Because he wants to like defeat the Witch King. Kagan must venture into strange lands, battle bizarre and terrifying creatures, and gather allies for a suicide mission into the heart of the Witch King's empire. Actually reading the synopsis, I kind of feel as though it's not as campy as I thought it was going to be. It seems actually kind of like a serious like a serious fantasy novel, which like, duh. I kind of wanted it to be a little bit like, but I don't think it's anything like, I'm still excited to read it. I do want to read it before the year ends because it's been on my TBR for a few months and I've been really looking forward to it. Speaking of horror, I have a few horror novels that I'm interested in reading. Number one, we have The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher. We're actually reading a T. Kingfisher book for my Patreon in January, but I do want to also read this one because it's been a long time that I've owned it. I still haven't read it. I've also been very hesitant to read it just because the book that she released before this one was absolute dog shit. The kind of dog shit that like you don't know is actually dog shit until like the last half of the book. The first half you're like, this isn't dog shit, and then the last half you're like, oh, it was dog shit the whole time. I just like didn't even know. That's the vibe. And so I was being kind of afraid that this is gonna be dog shit, but then Katie and a few other people were like, it's not dog shit. Is it dog shit? This is about Kara. Kara's like newly divorced. She's helping her crazy uncle sort out, clean up his little store. The store, which is called, by the way, the Glory of God Museum of Natural Wonders, Curiosities, and Taxidermy. Do you think there's a way we could shorten that up? Do you think there's a way that we could just like make that like more like streamlined? Because it's a bit long. But anyway, Kara is like closing up the store one night and then she finds this hole in the wall. And so she and this other guy named Simon like check it out. They're like, what the hell is with this hole? Like, it's weird. It wasn't here before. So they go through the hole and boom, they're in another dimension, another world. And so they're both like, this is crazy, bro. What the hell's going on? So they start like exploring. They bear witness to cryptic warnings like they can hear you thinking and pray they are hungry. Doesn't seem like something that I really naturally gravitate towards. This isn't my kind of horror, my gig, my thing, but I'm willing to give it a shot because I know how much Katie loves it and I know how much other people really like it. Let me know in the comments what you think of this book. Honestly, if I'm being honest with you, Tiffany, sci-fi horror and me, we're not like close. We know each other, we've seen each other, but we're not like besties. We're not hanging out. I feel as though if I like this, I might try other sci-fi horror. I'm hesitant. Let me know. I forgot I owned this, and when I remembered, I was like, you were so excited for that book when you got it, and now you literally forgot that it existed. And that is The Doctor's Demons by Maria Abrams. I love this cover so much. It just gives me good feelings. This is about Hannah. Hannah is a child psychiatrist, and so she's been like helping kids or whatever, but nothing really could have ever prepared her for demonic possession. That is until she meets Elena. She sees that Elena is like possessed by a demon, and she's like, we gotta figure that out. So she like unpossesses her or exorcises her. That's what it's called. They exorcise her. Everything's fine. Everything's hunky dory. And she goes about her life, Hannah, and she's like exorcising children all the time, just getting rid of demons left, right, and center, until she meets Lucas. All of the demons that she's been exorcising, all of like the little bad things from, you know, HE double hockey sticks place, they're like, they noticed and they were like getting pretty annoyed. And so they were like, we should like send up that guy because he seems like pretty hardcore and bad, and like he'll deal with her. It'll be fine if we just send that guy. Seems as though it's going to be like a hard case kind of thing. I'm really excited to read this. Mainly, like I've said a million times, for this cover. This cover alone just gets me. Next up, let's talk about The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. I have been so excited for this book, and like so excited that I live in a time where Tananarive Due is like releasing books. We all win, right? Because we're alive at the same time as her. Math. First of all, I thought this book was a middle grade novel. I don't think it is, because it's a pretty big book just in terms of size. It's 1950s in June in Florida. We're following 12-year-old Robbie. Robbie has just been sentenced to spend some time in the reformatory for apparently kicking this kid. Robbie kind of had good reason to kick him because he was just defending his sister. I'm sorry, like you literally fuck around and you fucking find out. Like, how is that against the law? Anyway, Robbie goes to the reformatory, this place where they like reform children. It says that Robbie's journey was further into the terrors of the Jim Crow South and the very real horror of the school that they call the reformatory. Also, something about Robbie that's kind of interesting is Robbie can kind of like see ghosts or like haints. He's just like seeing dead people just like all the time, just like everywhere, all the time. He sees all these ghosts, all these haints at the reformatory. He kind of makes friends with them. And then Robbie starts to hear about how some of the boys who were brought to the reformatory to reform have gone missing. Poof, poof, poof. Robbie is like, that's suspicious. And then all the ghosts and the haints are like, yeah, it is suspicious. Here's the tea. So the ghosts and the haints are telling him all of the shit about what's actually going on. Through the help of the haints, Robbie is learning how to not just like live in this little reformatory, but also survive. I'm so excited to read this, dude. Tananarive Due, her horror. Oh, I love it so much. Also, the fact that it's like historical fiction, I kind of love. Last but not least, maybe it is least, I don't know. I have The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. I got this last year from Book of the Month. I didn't have time last year to read it, so I remember thinking last year, December, I want to read this next year. Tough as when you're fucking miserable. So this is basically like a romance contemporary novel about these twins. They're like opposites. They're like totally different. It's basically like Mary-Kate, Ashley kind of vibes, you know, very different. One of them comes up with the idea that like we should switch places. And I think one of them is like a chef. The other one is like a motocross biker or something. I forget. I don't know. But they're like, we should trade. No, the other one's like a reality star. Anyway, but then they end up meeting these guys. And it's like, oh, hijinks and romance ensues. Also, it's Christmas. I'm not going to say that I'm excited to read this because I'm really not. I just want to read it because it sounds kind of like a Hallmark movie, but like all the worst parts of a Hallmark movie. My friends. My family, my familia. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's been so much fucking fun. Every single time I see you, I get chills. Let me know down below what you thought of these books, what you think I should read, what you think I shouldn't read. Let me know about like any books you want to see, like maybe like vlogs for. I'd love to know. I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to hit subscribe because we talk about spooky shit, talk about creepy shit, talk about swapping with our twins and being Kagan the damned. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. See you later, Tiffany. Goodbye. I'll see you in December. Goodbye.